The pupils of Misterton Primary School Year 6 have spent this year learning all about the blind. They have learned how to read and write using Braille, and they have also learned how to guide a blind person correctly. Now, however, they would like to ask a blind person exactly what their quality of life is like. Tony Giles is a world traveller. He is blind and without the use of his hearing aids is 85% deaf. He has written several travel books and has had documentaries made about his travels as a blind person. Tony has agreed to answer some of the children's questions.
Hi, I'm Katie Leach and I would like to know how do you cross the road?
Let's see. Well, I use my cane to find the edge of the pavement, and then I listen for the traffic coming from the left and from the right, and when I think it's quiet, there's no traffic, I cross. And I use my cane in front of me and I walk in a rough straight line, and that's, I imagine, where the pavement is on the other side.
Hey, my name's Alex and I would like to ask you, how do you catch a bus, and if you can, how do you?
So in order to catch a bus, first of all I might call the bus station or bus centre and find out what bus number I want, or look on the internet with my computer with speech software, and then I go to the street and ask people where the bus stop is if I don't know. But where I live in Tinmouth, I've been shown where the bus stops are, so then I walk to the bus stop and I have to ask people at the bus stop, can you tell me when the next bus is coming and if it's the number so and so, and then I can listen and hear when a bus comes, and then if there aren't any people around, I'll get on the bus and ask the driver, is this the bus 2A to go to such and such a place? And if it is, I get on and I show the bus driver my pass and find a seat, and I ask him to tell me when my stop is.
Hello, my name's Thomas and we'd all like to know how you cook and how to use an oven.
So I prepare food and cook. I use a chopping board made of wood, and I get all the vegetables, all the food out first. So if I want to cook spaghetti bolognese, I get out the meat, and then the pasta, the onion, the carrot, and everything else I want to cook with. And then I use a knife to cook the carrot. And I put the carrot on the board, and I use my hands. I put the knife at one end of the carrot and put my hand over the top of the knife, and that way I can control the knife to cut the carrot without cutting my fingers. And then as I'm cutting each piece of carrot, I put it into a plastic bowl, and then once I've cut all the vegetables up, I turn the top of the cooker on, and I've got tactile markers on the buttons of the cooker, so I know what temperature I've turned the top of the cooker to. So I'll turn it to 180 degrees, or to the top temperature, and then I can feel where the heat is with my face, and I put the pan where the heat is, and then I put the meat in, and I can hear it making a noise, it will hiss, and then I slowly add the other vegetables, the onions, and eventually the carrots. And when I feel it's hot enough and I can hear it it's spitting and making a noise, and I can also smell it, I slowly turn the heat down, and then I might add the tomatoes, and I stir it with a wooden spoon, and then I'll time it with my watch. I've got a Braille watch, so I can time it every 10 minutes, and I keep stirring, and I turn it down to a lower light, and then I can smell it and taste it, and I keep doing this until I think it's ready, and then eventually I'll put the pasta on. I'll boil the water, so I put cold water in a pan, I put it on another ring on the top of the cooker, and then listen to when the water starts to boil, and then sometimes I can hear it, but if I can't hear it, I put a piece of metal in the pan which has got ridges on, and when the metal starts banging I know the water's boiling, so then I turn the heat down and put the pasta in. And it's just all about tasting it and smelling it, and then when I think it tastes good I turn off the heat of the cooker, and then I'll use a big spoon, put the bolognese into a bowl, and then I'll add the pasta.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and we'd like to know if you live alone or do you live with your parents?
I've lived in Teignmouth here in Devon for 10 years, but I originate from Weston-super-Mare near Bristol. Because of my education I've moved around a lot. Now I live about 70 miles from my family, but I went to a school for visually impaired children in Coventry, a long way from my home, when I was 10, and started to learn to use Braille to read and write. And then I went to Hereford, to college for the blind in Hereford, in the southwest, and then eventually went to university in Northampton, and finally ended up in Devon. So I'm very independent. I live alone.
Hi, I'm Katie Reynolds, and we'd all like to know, can you use a computer?
Yes, I can use a computer and a laptop. It has a speech software called Jaws, J-A-W-S, and every time I press a key on the laptop, it speaks to me. So, and the F key and the J key have little tactile lines, so I can touch with my fingers, and then using those two keys I know where all the other keys are on the keyboard. And then if I want to read my emails or do Facebook, it speaks to me. When I use the arrow key to go down line by line, it will read every line, and I can make it read every word or every letter. So I can read my emails and then reply to them, and the same with Facebook.
Hi, I'm Molly. This may sound a bit rude, but if you're blind, why do you travel?
Why do I want to travel if I can't see? I recently went to Russia with my girlfriend, who's also blind, and we travel because it's the challenge of going from one place to another, but more importantly it's about meeting the people and learning about their culture and the smells of a different place and the sound, the different music. We like to eat a lot, so different foods, but ultimately it's about meeting the people and learning about their cultures.
Hi, my name is Josh. What advice can you give us on your attitude to life?
So what's helped me travel around the world and live independently is, despite being blind and partially deaf, is my attitude of my mum to allow me to have a normal upbringing, run around in the street, and then my attitude that I gained from my teachers, the positive attitude that I was told I would do things, and consequently I gained confidence, and as that positive attitude and outlook, I said, oh, despite my disabilities I can do the things I want, and that's what it's about, positive attitude and a willingness to have a go.
So what, if you were helping children, Tony, to understand what they can do with their life, would you say that's the most important thing, not to let people tell you what you can't do, but to set about perhaps proving what you can do?
Yeah, it's all about what you can do and about having a go and trying things, you know. And sometimes you try things and it doesn't work out right, and you have another go and you keep going and you keep going, but never give up.
Excellent. Yeah. So congratulations on everything you've done,
Thank you very
Tony.
much.
I'm sure the children would like to say really well done, and thank you very much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.